Top of the day, beautiful people. Top of the day. Sorry for my tardiness this morning. Today is already a busy day. We got a portion of our crew going out of town for our out of town project today, so we had to get a couple things straight this morning. Betwabu. All right, y'all. It is Thursday, August the 13th, 2020, day 224. We're reading Hosea 2, 3, and 4. So let's go ahead and get this started. Let me set this right here because I'm going to need that. Okay. Hosea chapter 2. In that day you will call your brothers Ami, my people, and you will call your sister Ruhama, the ones I love. Remember yesterday when we started Yahuwah, when he told Hosea what to name his children, remember Ami, the name that he gave to the brothers, today is my people, but when they were first born, it said not my people, and Ruhama, the sisters, the ones that I don't love. But now all that is shifting, all that is changing because we're returning to him. So when it's talking about in that day, it says in that day, it's talking about the day where we begin returning to him, which is this day today, right? So it starts off, it picks up from yesterday. It says, in that day, you will call your brothers Ami, my people, and you will call your sisters Ruhama, the ones I love. Good morning, Mom. But now, bring charges against Israel, your mother, for she is no longer my wife, and I am no longer her husband. So now it's going back to currently what's happening. He said, but in that day, but as for now, this is what's about to happen. Bring charges against Israel, your mother, for she is no longer my wife, and I am no longer her husband. Tell her to remove the prostitute's makeup from her face and the clothing that exposes her breast. Otherwise, I will strip her as naked, and she will be as on the day she was born. I will leave her to die of thirst as in a dry and barren wilderness, and I will not love her children, for they were conceived in prostitution. Their mother is a shameless prostitute and became pregnant in a shameful way. She said, I'll run after other lovers and sell myself to them for food and water, for clothing of wool and linen, for olive oil and drinks. For this reason, I will fence her in with thorn bushes. I will block her path with a wall and make her lose her way. When she runs after her lovers, she won't be able to catch them. She will search for them, but will not find them. She will think, I might as well return to my husband, for I was better off with him than I am now. She doesn't even realize that it was I who gave her everything she has, the grain, the wine, the olive oil. I even gave her silver and gold, but she gave all my gifts to Baal. Bruh. But now I will take back the ripened grain and new wine I generously provided each harvest season. I will take away the wool and linen clothing I gave her to cover her nakedness. I will strip her naked in public while all her lovers look on. No one will be able to rescue her from my hands. I will put an end to her annual festivals, her new moon celebrations, and her Sabbath days, all her appointed festivals. I will destroy her grapevines and fig trees, things she claims her lovers gave her. I will let them grow into tangled thickets where only wild animals will eat the fruit. I will punish her for all those times when she burned incense to her images of Baal, when she put on her earrings and jewels and went out to look for her lovers, but forgot all about me, says Yahuwah. But then I will win her back once again. I will lead her into the desert and speak tenderly to her there. I will return her vineyards to her and transform the valley of trouble into a gateway of hope. Or in other versions, this is where this says the valley of trouble. Other version says the valley of Achor, into a gateway of hope. She will give herself to me there, as she did long ago when she was young, when I freed her from her captivity in Egypt. When that day comes, says Yahuwah, you will call me my husband instead of my master. O Israel, I will wipe the many names of Baal from your lips, and you will never again mention them. Let me just bring out something here. A lot of people are referring, especially to those who are serving Yah but are calling him by other names like JC. If you don't know what those initials stand for, Jesus Christ, That is not his name. That is a name of Baal. And it tells you right here, he says, in that day when I restore my people, I will wipe all the many names of Baal, no matter what you calling him, JC, Allah, whoever. But those who are truly searching and serving Yah, and he knows who those people are. He said, I'm going to wipe the many names of Baal from their lips, right? So that's why I stopped. When I realized that, I stopped kind of arguing with people. Oh, don't call him. His name ain't JC. Don't refer to him. Don't say, so I'm just like, I was like, you know what? Okay, so it's going to be a process of what's happening as Yahuwah's people return to him, just like me. Like I decided I was no longer going to use those names, and then I come across this, I'm like, oh, snap. That's what's happening with me. I only call Yahuwah by his name, right? Verse 17, O Israel, I will wipe the many names of Baal from your lips, and you will never again mention them. On that day, I will make a covenant with all the wild animals and the birds of the sky, and the animals that scurry along the ground, so they will not harm you. I will remove all weapons of war from the land, all swords and bows, so you can live unafraid in peace and safety. I will make you my wife forever, showing you righteousness and justice, unfailing love and compassion. I will be faithful to you and make you mine, and you will finally know me as Yahuwah. In that day, I will answer, says Yahuwah. I will answer the sky as it pleads for clouds, and the sky will answer the earth with rain. Then the earth will answer the thirsty cries of the grain, the grapevines, and the olive trees, and they in turn will answer Jezreel, God plants. At that time, I will plant a crop of Israelites and raise them for myself. I will show love to those I call not love. And to those I call not my people, I will say, now you are my people. And they will reply, you are our God. Hosea chapter 3. Then Yahuwah said to me, go and love your wife again, even though she commits adultery with another lover. This would illustrate that Yahuwah still loves Israel, even though the people have turned to other gods to love and worship them. So I bought her back for 15 pieces of silver and 5 bushels of barley and a measure of wine. Then I said to her, you must live in my house for many days and stop your prostitution. During this time you will not have sexual relations with anyone, not even with me. This shows that Israel will go a long time without a king or a prince, and without sacrifices and sacred pillars and priests or even idols. But afterward the people will return and devote themselves to Yahuwah, their God, and to David's descendant, their king. In these last days they will tremble in awe of Yahuwah and of his goodness. And that was a really short chapter, last chapter for the day, y'all. Hosea chapter 4. Hear the word of Yahuwah, O people of Israel. Yahuwah has brought charges against you, saying, there is no faithfulness, no kindness, no knowledge of Yahuwah in your land. You make vows and break them. You steal and kill and commit adultery. There is violence everywhere, one murder after another. This is why your land is in mourning, and everyone is wasting away. Even the wild animals, the birds of the sky, and the fish of the sea are disappearing. Don't point your finger at someone else and try to pass the blame. My complaint, you priests, is with you. So you will stumble in broad daylight, and your false prophets will fall with you in the night. And I will destroy Israel, your mother. My people are being destroyed because they do not know me. And this is also found in, was it in Amos? I think it's in Amos. But anyway, it also says in other versions that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. But a lot of people kind of always have that scripture, and they don't continue to read on to tell you exactly why. He said, my people perish for a lack of knowledge because they do not know me, because they reject me. And because you reject me, I will reject you and your children too. That's what it says. You got to read it all in context to see what's going on and see why his people are confused, because they rejected the knowledge of him. They rejected the knowledge of him, which would have made them wise and would set them free and would give them wisdom in all areas of life. Verse 6, my people are being destroyed because they do not know me. Since you priests refuse to know me, I refuse to recognize you as my priest. Since you have forgotten the laws of your God, I will forget to bless your children. The more priests there are, the more they sin against me. They have exchanged the glory of Yahuwah for the shame of idols. When the people bring their sin offerings, the priests get fed. So the priests are glad when the people sin. And what the priests do, the people do also. You coming to kiss me or what? Okay. All right, love you too.
I'll call you again.
Okay. All right, so remember he said right here, he said what the priests do, the people do also, because remember, that's why the king was required to write with his own hand a copy of the law, because he was the leader of the nation. If the nation's leader is sinning, all the people under his command and in his nation will begin to sin too. That's why Yahuwah, he says, you have led the entire nation astray. So you got to check your leaders. Right? Okay, so I go back to 8. It says, when the people bring their sin offerings, the priests get fed. So the priests are glad when the people sin. Oh, Trini, funny. So the priests are glad when the people sin. And the priests do, and what the priests do, the people also do. So now I will punish both priests and people for their wicked deeds. They will eat and still be hungry. They will play the prostitute and gain nothing from it, for they have deserted Yahuwah to worship other gods. Wine has robbed my people of their understanding. They ask a piece of wood for advice. They think a stick can tell them the future. Longing after idols has made them foolish. They have played the prostitute, serving other gods and deserting their God. They offer sacrifices to idols on the mountaintops. They go up into the hills to burn incense in the pleasant shade of oaks, poplars, and terebinth trees. That is why your daughters turn to prostitution and your daughters-in-law commit adultery. But why should I punish them for their prostitution and adultery? For your men are doing the same thing, sinning with whores and shrine prostitutes. O foolish people, you refuse to understand, so you will be destroyed. Though you, Israel, are a prostitute, may Judah not be guilty of such things. Do not join the false worship at Gilgal or Beth-aven, and do not take oaths there in Yahuwah's name. Israel is stubborn like a stubborn heifer. So should Yahuwah feed her like a lamb in a lush pasture? Leave Israel alone, because she is married to idolatry. When the rulers of Israel finish their drinking, off they go to find some prostitutes. They love shame more than honor, so a mighty wind will sweep them away. Their sacrifices to idols will bring them to shame. And that, my beautiful people, is our reading for today. I know that's kind of what word I want to use? It's kind of an interesting place to stop the reading because it actually continues on in the next chapter, but that's the way they broke up the chapters. All right, but remember, it's one continuous letter, and it's not actually broken up like this, but it was broken up and given chapters and verses for the ease of our understanding and reading, right? And so we can easily find our places in the book. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the reading for today. That was Hosea 2, 3, and 4, day 224 of reading through the books of the law and prophets, also known as the Old Testament. It is Thursday, August the 13th, 2020. So let's go ahead and do the blessing, which is found where? In Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 through 27. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, May Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us his peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. All right, beautiful people, I love you, and I see you bright and early in the morning. Peace.